Hello, we have a question here. It's on 1.2, solving quadratic equations. This one actually factors. Some of the problems in 1.2 actually you have to use a quadratic formula, but this one particularly says do it by factoring. And so the first thing, is a lot of people see this problem and think, well, it's already factored because they see the product here. Well, the whole expression on the left side has to be factored. So what you have to do is undo it and then put it back together. It's kind of like taking your shoe off and putting it back on. So this one here, you multiply it by 2, so you get 4 times u squared minus 8u plus 3 equals 0. So just distribute the 2. Big mistake people here make, multiply the 2 times the 3 and get the 6 there. That's a big mistake that some people will try to make there. But you got to stop with the parentheses. So distribute until you get to the end of the parentheses. Anything else, just kind of tag it on. So it's plus 3. Now at this point, this thing should factor, and it does. There's a couple of methods that are taught in Math 103, and that's either the AC method or the trial and error method. And that's the way I usually like doing it, is just trial and error method. The AC method is basically getting the A and the C, and you multiply those together. And so the process is quite lengthy. But anyway, it's 4 times 3, and you get 12. And you take that 12 and you look at all the factors of 12 and you look at all the possibilities. And so the 12 is going to be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. And you look at those factors and you look at which combination that would possibly give you a negative 8. Well, the 1 and 12, they're too far apart to get any combination that will give you the 8 or negative 8. The 2 and the 6 seems to be the best bet. But 2 times 6 is 12, but you'll get 8 if you add the factors. So we'll take the negative 2 and the negative 6, and that will give you the negative 8. And negative 2 times negative 6 is also factors of 12 as well. And again, I don't do it this way normally. If I'm doing it myself, I would just sit here. I've been tinkering with it until I figure out which combination gives the negative 8u in the middle. But I'm just showing this for those people who are used to the AC method. So you have 4u squared minus 8u is the same thing as negative 2u minus 6u. So that's how that works. Now, you do this by 4 terms, factor by grouping. So the first 2 terms, you take a u out and a 2. You're left with 2u because 2u times 2u is 4u squared minus 1. On the second 2 factors, you pull out a negative 3. And what's left is 2u minus 1, which is what you need. That's why you do the AC methods, because when you do that, what's left is a common factor. So 2u minus 1 factors out, and then 2u, and then what's left is the 2u minus 3. We can bring down the equal sign 0. So the process works. It's pretty nice. And if you do the trial and error method, you'd go from here to here in one step. The problem with the trial and error method sometimes is you sit there, try to figure out which combination gives you negative 8u, and if there's a lot of possibilities, you could be there quite a long time figuring out which combination. So most of the time, the trial and error method is probably a little quicker, unless you're just a very bad guesser. And if you get the right one, sometimes you check it and you make a mistake, and then it takes you a long time to come back to it. So the AC method, it's a very straightforward technique how to do it, but it is a technique, and a lot of people will forget how to do it. So, but anyway, this factors to this, and then you get 2u minus 1 times 2u minus 3 equals 0. And you set each factor equal to 0. It's the zero product rule. And so you set each factor equal to 0. And so u is 1/2, and u is 3/2. So either one of these two numbers would solve the original equation. Checking it is not too bad, but it would take a little bit of time. So, but u is 1/2, u is 3/2. Now remember, quadratic equations have 2 answers, and this one is definitely quadratic. It's got a u squared there, so it's quadratic. So if the degree was 3, you'd have 3 answers. Now all 3 of those answers may not be real, but you would have 3 answers. So this one's quadratic. You have 2 answers. Both of them may not be real. This time they are, but you could have 2 complex answers as well. So That's one way to keep in mind whether you're in 1.2 or 1.3, wherever we're at. So you have up to that many answers. So, but anyway, this is number 24, 1.2.